I've been bringing a lot of critical data and information forward, showing you they're going international next year. So if they're going to go international next year, for them to implement trade 100%, they need a convertible tradable currency. In order for them to implement the banking reforms 100%, they need the rate to change. In order for Parliament to get the 150 plus laws done, world trade, they need that convertible currency. I'm just taking you down common sense road. They're going international next month. You are watching Con Baba. Today, January 2nd, evening. It's not a coincidence that many counties are making changes to their currency. Even Iran is trying. Syria is dropping zeros in January and Iran in March. Their budget timeframes are different, but Syria and Iraq budgets are the same. January 1st to December 31st. The Central Bank of Syria requires citizens to follow new procedures when exchanging currency. The Central Bank of Syria announced the regulations that must be followed by citizens and customers when submitting old Syrian pound banknotes to authorized entities for exchange for new banknotes as part of the ongoing preparations for the upcoming exchange process. The governor of the Central Bank of Syria, Abdul Qadir al-Haysriya, explained that the standard for the replacement process is to remove 2 zeros from the nominal value so that every 100 old Syrian pounds will be equivalent to 1 new Syrian pound, noting that the replacement process will begin on January 1, 2026, and will continue for 90 days, which is extendable, and will be carried out free of charge without imposing any fees or taxes. Iraq has been doing everything they need to do to set themselves up for integration into the global financial system. That's where we're at. Are there still things happening within this year? Absolutely. The word revalue will just fall off a cliff because it's not about a revalue, it's a currency adjustment. Once Iraq puts itself in a position for the currency to float or do whatever it is they're going to do, they will then feel the full force of global investors behind them. That will determine what the IQD will float or rise to. Iraq has taken initial steps towards establishing a comprehensive regulatory framework for virtual and digital assets, aligned with international best practices. Initial steps means they haven't even begun the task at hand. I told you they are not ready, and the banking structure is at least 2 steps behind the world of fintech and tokenization. There is no point in fixing the wagon while the rest of the world are driving Ferraris. They are not prepared to play the game yet, and it is going to take time to prepare. Syria to launch new currency from January 2026 in bid to revive economy. Consider the timing when things are happening and why. Syria will launch and redenominated currency January 1st, 2026. Removing 2 zeros to ease transactions and stabilize the economy following the lifting of US sanctions. Notice how, as sanctions are getting lifted, those are what allowed Syria to do this step in January. So Iraq is not in the WTO yet, are they? You want it on a document. You want it on a piece of paper. You can wait for that. But if you was to say, Frank, have they done everything they need to do to be a member of the WTO? The answer is yes. That's why we have an article where the WTO says, come. Welcome. You're a member now. You did everything. Did Iraq? Did Sudani say, thank you? We'll be there next Tuesday. No, Iraq didn't say jack. Why? It's waiting for the new exchange rate. The hashish man in Baghdad. Sevilla knocks on the green zone's doors with a Trumpian veto and a list of sanctions ready. While political circles in Baghdad are busy repairing their faltering alliances, all eyes are on Baghdad. International Airport awaiting the arrival of the controversial envoy. Mark Sevilla's arrival after Christmas is seen as a 0 hour for assessing the resilience of the authorities in Baghdad. While some political factions are trying to play for time, Washington appears to have decided to employ a surgical approach to the Iraqi reality where sovereignty is now contingent on the ability to control weapons and secure the flow of dollars. Syria, launch of a new currency and 90 days to adapt to IT. Are they hiding anything from us? Absolutely. That's where I'm going to put my focus next. I would recommend you do the same as well. They give us a lot of details about Mark Sevilla, Trump's envoy to Iraq. They told us he would be going there after Christmas. Then, on Christmas Day, the 25th, they told us he would be going there in early January. Notice how they were going way out of their way to hide the date from us. They also told us on Monday of last week that his efforts of going there would be the next stage. That means around when Iraq is going international. Again, I want you to realize they're hiding the date from us. That's no coincidence. Television was talking about our international acceptance into the world in 2026. It's all over the place. Everyone knows what's going on with our international status and where we going with our monetary reform. We will have the United Nations out of our country because we are a sovereign nation now. The international world welcomes everything from Iraq except 1310. Hebat al-Halbusi was elected Speaker of the Iraqi Parliament for its 6th session. The Iraqi Parliament elected MP Hebat al-Halbusi as Speaker of the Parliament for its 6th parliamentary session on Monday, in a move considered an opening step in the process of forming the new government. According to constitutional procedures, the election of the Speaker of Parliament is supposed to be followed by the election of his 2 deputies, and then the election of the President of the Republic within 30 days of the first session. The President is then to task the largest bloc with forming the government. Just so you know, this guy, Hebat al-Halbusi, is not the same guy that was previously the Speaker of Parliament, who had to resign, connecting the pipes of the floating gas platform to all production stations and putting them into service before June. This is a plan to unhook from Iran. Iraq is working on being 100% independent and an exporter of gas. There is so much real optimism and very good news for Iraq, and yet there is still lots of propaganda news. As investors in the Iraqi Dinar, we need to hear optimistic and truthful news, and it is all optimistic, let there be no mistake about it. There is much more evidence than not that everything is pointing to early 2026 for them to normalize the dinar and place it back on Forex to trade. I can only rely on what my contact in the CBI, along with the articles, were telling us. They are telling us now is the time. Thank you for watching.